to all the big GMO companies, the companies being started by, our loving little friend, Bill Gates, they say they're going to take toxic waste and chemicals. That's what aspartame is fecal material of a GMO bacteria, E. coli, that eats toxic waste. And now you're going to be fed, we actually have the quotes here, chemical compounds. You make a dish. And it goes on to break down how you will be fed chemicals that are, of course, friendly to animals. Bacteria stews, you name it. It's all part of the great future they've got all planned for us with all the systems they're putting in with our money. I don't know about you, but I've decided to be trendy. I think it's great. White House says future food to be made from chemicals. Of course, McDonald's and all that already is. They're just getting us used to it. I mean, what's wrong with dying of kidney failure and cancer? I mean, hell. Every 2 years, a consortium of Europe's most active minds converge on Euroscience Open Forum to discuss the latest advancements in scientific research and innovation. But this year's meeting, which was held in Dublin, Ireland, featured a disturbing workshop held by White House executive pastry chef Bill Yossi, who explained and demonstrated to audience members how food of the future will not actually contain real food, but rather various combinations of lab-created chemicals that mimic food. Well, of course. I mean, come on. Mommy, is it true once we got food that grew? No, that's what Al-Qaeda says. As reported on 6-1 News, a feature of RTE News in Ireland, the White House says other food experts showed a live audience how to create various foams, gels, solids, and other food-like texture substances out of chemicals that, when combined, resemble things like lemon and chocolate pudding. Well, was there really once something called chocolate? No, honey, you'll go to re-education. Now take your pills. Mommy, could people really once walk and not be in these tanks? Was there really once billions? No, honey, there wasn't. These food scientists, Mommy, did mommies used to give you milk out of their breast? Oh, that's a real, no, never happened. These food scientists then shared samples of laboratory creations with audience members who were told the imitation food products are the wave of the future. Oh, yeah, if you tell a trendy that shooting themselves in the head is trendy, they do it. If you tell them jumping off a cliff is trendy, I mean, if you tell them putting their kid in a microwave, if you told a trendy, it's the trendy thing to do, put your 2-year-old, cram them in a microwave, an industrial microwave, and they would do it. While their eyeballs popped out, they would just be, oh, trendy, oh, trendy. So I'm serious. I mean, it's total insanity. Crazy people have taken over. All right, let's continue here. ATF head clarifies remarks from video. He's in the video going, if you go outside the chain of command, we're going to grind on down and you will be disciplined. And they're trying to fire people that expose their shipping guns to Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. But he comes out and says, oh, no. You're allowed to, if it's an authorized whistleblow, to Congress, who then sends a hit team to your house. Or puts a gag order to you like Sybil Edmonds while they're narcotics trafficking and all their other murder operations. These guys all compete with each other on who's the most hardcore criminal. Whoa, the ghost surveil us. Keep us safe from Al-Qaeda. I'm being a little sarcastic tonight because I can't handle it anymore. Let's go to Darren McBreen's report on this from last week that was sacrilegious against our loving ATF. Oh, that are good people. Here it is.
Now, earlier this month, acting ATF Director Todd Jones, he sent a memo to ATF employees warning potential whistleblowers that they will face consequences if they don't respect the chain of command and ask permission to release information damaging to the agency. If you don't find the way to raise your concerns to your leadership, there will be consequences, Todd Jones says in the video, because we cannot tolerate an undisciplined organization. One of the undisciplined ATF employees managed to make a copy of the video. It's now being circulated, thankfully, on the internet. And, you know, I thought it looked like something straight out of 1984. Todd Jones looking very Big Brother-like in this clip. And, well, especially when you present it like this.
Choices and consequences. And when I'm talking about choices and consequences, I'm talking about the disciplinary process. What my expectation is, as the acting director, when it comes to the disciplinary process, choices and consequences simply means that as an employee of ATF, should you decide not to abide by the standards of conduct or the rules of the road, Should you decide that you're not going to play by the rules, there will be consequences. Choices and consequences mean simply that if you make poor choices, that if you don't abide by the rules, that if you don't respect the chain of command, if you don't find the appropriate way to raise your concerns to your leadership, there will be consequences, because we cannot tolerate an undisciplined organization. And the next time that we talk, we'll start to grind down on some of the specifics about how we're going to actually follow through on this accelerated change that we've been implementing here at ATF over the last 9 months. Thank you for your attention. Keep your comments coming in, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
So there you have it. Whistleblowers will face consequences. And you know, Senator Charles Grassley from Iowa and Representative Darrell Issa from California, they actually sent a letter this week to Todd Jones declaring the message, and I'm going to quote here, "It could be interpreted as a threat." Yeah, you think? ATF spokeswoman Ginger Colburn said the video was directed at employees who violate the rules, and it was not directed at those with protected disclosure. Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, play the video again, this time without sound. I'm going to try to translate what I think Todd Jones is really trying to say here. Hello. We will not tolerate anyone telling the truth to the public. Truth tellers will not be tolerated. If you disclose our illegal activities, we are going to F you up. You and your family will suffer. Now go back to sleep. Everything is fine. Big brother loves you. And by the way, I'm naked from the waist down. Oh, okay, you can stop there. All right, stop. You know, it's no secret that ATF whistleblowers were instrumental in exposing the illegal Operation Fast and Furious. So I think Todd Jones is really saying, shh. That's what it looks like to me, so.
Let's move along now from our gracious leader to Monsanto, who's got a bill about to pass to give them total liability protection, and none of their products will have to be approved anymore. I mean, they gave you Agent Orange dioxin, aspartame. These are good people. Now, of course, they admit that none of their workers will eat Monsanto food at their cafeterias for 12 years. But, you know, that's because they want to keep all the good Monsanto food for us. It's because they want to take care of us. And anybody that talks bad about them is anti-America and anti-Al-Qaeda, our hero forces battling Assad. And I'm proud to be an American where Al-Qaeda battles forth. And I want the TSA to stick their hands down my pants like they did before. And I gladly stand up next to you and drink sodium fluoride today, 'cause there ain't no doubt we're the center of genetic warfare. God bless the globalist evil. I mean USA, excuse me. All right, I'm sorry. Bob, do you like the show tonight? I actually have 2 Bobs in the studio tonight. Think about, okay, I'll leave it at that. We actually do. We have like a couple of Bobs. Wait, Bob. Rob. 3 Robs. Rob. I never even realized we had 3 Robs. But 2 go by Bob. Only 1 goes by Rob. That's right. All right. I'm just continuing to get with the program here. I am. Monsanto defrauded GM cornfield workers lawsuit claims. Oh, they should arrest those that sued Monsanto. This is just horrible. And it breaks down how they supposedly did all this and how they have a predatory operation and everything. I don't believe a word of it. Let me tell you something. Monsanto's the reason the sun comes up. You un-American filth. All right, let's continue here. Critic of NBC has Twitter account suspended after network complaints. They're arresting people in England that say, hey, you did a terrible job and you're diving. They say that can hurt somebody's feelings. They actually arrested the guy. Did you see that today? I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think arrest anybody. Just arrest them now. Oh, yeah, and it wasn't even a death threat. It wasn't even... Guy Adams worked as a writer for the Independent, a national newspaper in Great Britain. He lives in Los Angeles. Throughout the Olympics, he's taken to Twitter and ripped NBC repeatedly for its coverage of the games in America. Well, how dare him. Namely, he's criticized the network's reliance on using tape delays or frustration shared by millions of viewers. Well, only in a marriage of old media and social media. Guy Adams no longer has a Twitter account. It was suspended Tuesday, and then they describe it as a death threat, but he didn't say that. He said, Am I alone in wondering why NBC Olympics thinks it's acceptable to pretend this road race is being broadcast live? He wrote in one. Well, that's it. That's threats. Get rid of him. Folks, he criticized NBC. That is not trendy. Now, UK teen arrested after Olympic diver Tom Daley receives Twitter death threat. And then I read the article. All he said was, your father would not be proud of you. But then they call it a death threat, and I read it everywhere. I went and looked at the tweet. It didn't say that. UK teen arrested after Olympic team receives Twitter death threat. Yeah, there it is. I have the article right there. Okay, let's shift gears to the good people. The good people that extremists have talked bad about. HSBC says sorry, takes $700 million hit for U.S. fraud. And, you know, that's running Al-Qaeda funds, fixing rates, everything else. You know what? Making hundreds of billions off it and paying a $700 million. You know what? I think that's wrong. I mean, I think them, again, Al-Qaeda is glorious. And the money laundering, all of it. I mean, what's wrong with that? All the other big banks do it. I mean, these are good people. Okay, this is the new show where we appreciate the hard work of these folks. But there's always people that have to take the fall after the loving banks get caught running Al-Qaeda, laundering money and drugs and everything. Tate Modern death plunge. Man Michael Foreman was senior bank manager at HSBC. A man who fell 100 feet to his death from a balcony at the busy Tate Modern Art Gallery in London was a senior bank manager at HSBC. Inquest has learned. Well, who knows how many others are going to have to fall to their deaths to make sure the banks can continue blessing us. Continuing here, colossal human sculpture unearthed in Turkey. And government built it, Obama said today. Archaeologists in southeastern Turkey have discovered an enormous stone sculpture of a Neo-Hittite warrior king dating from the first millennium BC. And finally, labor scandal. Deutsche Bank admits some staff involved. No, maybe that staff member was involved. That's who stole it all. That's who did it all. Deutsche Bank has confirmed that a limited number of staff were involved in a LIBOR rate rigging scandal. It was a small number, a limited number, and they're going to be jumping off balconies very, very soon to make sure those above them don't get any trouble. Well, that's it for the news portion of this transmission. We'll go to break and come back with Fritz Springmeier in studio, and then we have the good professor joining us about the wonderland that gun disarmament and Fast and Furious has created in Mexico. We'll be right back. I'm Alex Jones. Don't forget, if you're a viewer out there on internet land, want to support what we're doing here, even though we don't support Al-Qaeda, you might want to become a 15-cent-a-day member at PrisonPlanet.tv. And don't forget PlanetInfowars.com, the Patriot social network that's free as well.